I think you were making this point earlier, and we can, I guess, kind of segue into it now with the Kurt Zouma incident. I don't know if you guys who are watching, listening are
like who?
Our football fans. So Kurt Zouma is a centre back that plays for West Ham United. Formerly of Chelsea. He was recently, I think, so that his brother, I forgot his brother's name, who plays for Dagenham and Redbridge. They were both on Snapchat recently, and they publicised a video of them. Do I say assaulting their cat? Is that the best way to put it?
They're kicking a slap.
Kicking a slap. Abusing.
Was it one cat?
I don't know if it was.
I think they have 2 cats. But
Okay.
I think it was at least 1 cat.
Yeah. And I guess to kind of tie to this point that was being made earlier about kind of morality, seeing in the social media sphere, like the way that we see how people judge and the law of God is written on people's hearts and stuff like that, how there's kind of a collective outrage sometimes when we see these incidents and it giving us some kind of reminder. I'm sure everybody would have, even if you haven't seen the video, you've probably heard of the fallout.
Have you guys seen the video?
I haven't seen the video.
I have seen the video. This is a video I was prepared to watch. I wasn't prepared to watch.
Not
obviously. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared to watch that. But it was.
What was your thoughts when you watched the video?
Shocking.
Okay.
Right. Shocking. Definitely shocking. And I wouldn't necessarily. I don't have pets. Never had pets. It's strange. I was gonna say, like, I come from that very. This isn't to say that Nigerians don't have pets here, but unless it's like a domestic dog in Nigeria, pets just seem to be, to me, a bit of an irritant. Like it's in the way more than it is something that I find lovable. So it's funny because I remember seeing some kind of reactions. It's like all of this over a cat.
It's so Nigerian.
Do you know what I mean? But legit, right? And I think that's what actually kind of sparked my interest in this, because this conversation, because I was just like, do you know what? Yeah, like I understand not all of us are that, heavy on pets or all of those kind of things there, but there's obviously an appropriate way in which we can digest what we've seen on camera here and more generally just be thinking about kind of human interactions with animals. In my past life, I did have considerations about going into conservation and stuff.
Really?
Genuinely,
Wow.
I think it's kind of what to do, like marine conservation, not domestic
some
pets. But I've come down a completely different turn.
Did you have?
I don't know, Edge, what did you think when you saw the video, bro?
No, it was just abusive. Same. And it's one of them ones where I don't even think you need to have proximity to animals to appreciate this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. And it sparked my interest in the one that actually, like, what does the Bible say about animals?
Yeah.
So that was really good that came out of it. Honestly, no, but it wasn't good. And I think, he appreciates that.
Yeah.
It seems that he's quite contrite. I think it's clear any punishment that's coming his way, he seems to have received it. I think he's accepted animals that they've been taken away for at least a period. Yeah. So, but the event itself was, of course, it was horrific. It was.
What? Sorry, go on.
No, because again, you think of animals, they're very much in human care, especially domesticated animals.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't go as far as say they're children. I know people put in babies and stuff. But there's a level where their responsibility, and you should show kids and care and decent and treat them decently. And that was like total
opposite of that. Why didn't you watch it?
I don't know. I just didn't want to watch it. I just thought it was a bit much. And I think I was a bit late.
Okay, fair enough.
When I started seeing the tweets, people were like, I think I'd seen what Chris Kirkland said. And he was like, "This is worse than racism."
Right. Okay. So I didn't watch that video because
I saw that, and then I saw everybody just rolled up their sleeves and said, "We're about to tuck this guy in." So I think his point was that there's been people who've been charged by the FA for racist tweets, but he's only going to get a 2-week fine essentially. And people were like, "Racism, whatever you think, let's not downplay." Like for me, if I had a friend and they're abusing cats, I'd be worried for the safety of everyone around them.
Right, okay.
I just link it so much with just domestic violence and treatment of people. So for me, I was just already terrified just seeing that.
Right.
But the response, I mean, I think he played the next game. And
Now his manager's been happy to back him.
Yeah,
West Ham are on a top 4 charge. Yeah,
sponsorships were drops.
Okay, so on that point, yeah. Do you think the response? We can address the various responses. Do you think the response from
The club?
Do you think the response from the club has been proportionate?
I think the 2 weeks fan. I think he should have been suspended again.
Okay.
I don't remember when. Let's say the incident happened on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think their game was like on a Thursday, and they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna start." Like for me, okay, I get the 2 weeks wages, but there needs to be a sense that what you've done is very serious.
Okay,
it's 250k.
Yeah,
but that's really nothing to Kurt Zouma.
That's 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks wages.
Yeah.
Like, that's really nothing.
It's the max as well. They said apparently they said they couldn't find the player.
He should have been suspended again. I think so.
Really?
Especially just because of how quick it was. If it was like on an international break or I don't know, he's injured, but the next day, don't do that again. Oh yeah, warm up. Like for me, it just didn't. And I think there was one of their sponsors who actually West Ham sponsor, and they dropped. I can't remember.
So they've lost Vitality.
Yeah,
and West Ham, not West Ham, Adidas. I think have also.
Yeah,
suspended.
I think
he lost Adidas.
He lost his personal Adidas.
Yeah,
sponsor,
but there was one team one company that was sponsoring West Ham, and they dropped literally because of how quickly they didn't. They started the next game. So I think. Yeah, I don't know. West Ham should have definitely, but David Moyes said, I'm a dog lover. I have horses. Spoken to Kurt. He's repentant. Which is What do you think of the?
That's the thing, because like
the social media for though.
That's the thing, because
they want blood.
It does come back to what we talked about before. This whole just how I guess what infuriates us, and this is one of the things I think rightfully should infuriate people.
Okay.
And then you look at the stage in which the immediate fury becomes protracted, and you wonder at what. Because fury doesn't tend to last forever. You're wondering now. I wonder. So, what point are people going to be like satisfied? Not as a criticism, more just an observation. It's interesting to see. And the reason why I got into this murky space about now we were comparing issues such as racism, and was because this issue seemed to have maintained smoke longer than typically other issues tend to maintain their smoke.
Right.
Or the public fury against. So that was
racism in football.
Like racism in football.
Right, got you.
Yeah, man, Antonio came out, hidden hero. So I get it. And so for me, it's like, I think criticize West Ham, but obviously Moyes and Kurt have spoken. Yeah. And I assume face to face. Yeah. And the point is, if Kurt was genuinely repentant to David Moyes, are we to say he made the wrong decision to play him? You might say, unwise, but actually, can we be more understanding if he actually played him? If he played him, if Moyes indeed was sure that Zouma was repentant, having spoken to him. Obviously, we're talking the TL. We're seeing the cat being kicked. That's on a loop. So the fury is just. But if Moyes is speaking to Kurt and Kurt is repentant, I do wonder, should that be sufficient? And if it's not sufficient, why isn't it sufficient? Right. Because at what point then is someone resolved of their as it were their sins in the public's eye? And why is it that then some issues take more, to use to carry the metaphor? What why is more penance required? That than for
other
something
issues.
Else. So, and it reveals issues in society. It shows it just shows our hearts in many areas, whether that's good or bad. But this one, I think it's concerning because you know what, ultimately. It's bad, but if a fellow human being had received, when issues affect fellow human beings, I mean, why aren't they receiving the same? That has to be a question, because there is a value. I don't know. I know it's a hard thing to say. People won't like to hear that, but there is actually a value hierarchy. In humanity compared to the animal kingdom. Yeah. No, it's not saying in saying that though. Because I was like, what does the Bible say about animals? All we say about animals is usually we have dominion over them. But what does the Bible say? To be honest, there's some deep things. Yeah. There's some deep things.
And I guess this was to Mary's kind of point about how you kind of consider a way in which a person is prepared to kind of treat animals might be instructive of how they might treat humans.
I think
I think the proverbs even speak to that. So there's a proverb
Yep.
that speaks about the way in which how righteousness can be shown in the way that you treat your animal. So I think it's Proverbs 32:10. Like a righteous man has a regard for his beast, but even the mercy of the wicked man is cruel.
Yeah, even his wicked.
So even
even that.
so saying like even what we consider your most kind of tender, merciful acts, they are tinged with wickedness.
Yeah.
But actually, you can see more broadly for somebody who owns an animal or somebody who has a pet, it can be indicative. It can be indicative of like, it is indicative of righteousness in the sense that the way in which you treat that animal shows your reverence for God's created beings.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you have to bear in mind. I completely agree with you that there's hierarchy in the created order, but that's not to the extent that it then gives us the dominion mandate gives us license to abuse.
Christ almost says
Yeah.
he expects you on Sabbath day to take your sheep out of the pit it falls in. Matthew 12. Which one of you, wouldn't help your cattle who fed in the pit? I think it's a cattle or your sheep fed in the pit on the Sabbath. Those that are esteeming Sabbath in such a way, Christ is almost saying, fine, but would you not even? And don't forget, again, I was just saying it earlier. God cares for the sparrows.
Yeah,
He cares for the plants.
yeah.
Plants
Those who don't.
sheep.
Yeah,
plants
yeah.
don't bark or meow. He cares for them. So like you can, every little thing.
Yeah. No, but you're right though, because I think it was when you actually start to kind of go through the scripture. I think more so you see that there is an appropriate esteem for animals. So the whole point about God still feeds the birds even though they don't sow or reap.
Yeah.
This one with me was probably the most shocking. Nineveh. You read things you don't really clock. So in Nineveh, I won't say chapter. I'm gonna get it wrong. I want to say chapter 4. I think.
Jonah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jonah. Yeah. So Jonah. So Nineveh chapter 4.
Well, we were there. Everybody, we were there. We knew where he was.
God, I'm not even-
Just for those who aren't, Bible
I feel
literate,
you.
Nineveh shouldn't be in your Bible. That's not a book in your Bible.
throw that Bible away.
Yeah, Jonah. So God, in referring to the destruction, in referring to the destruction, He could incur on Nineveh. God refers to the righteous people that might be there,
Right.
and also the animals.
Yeah.
You missed that.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that whole point of what is the kind of appropriate way in which So first of all, it's not a thing where having dominion over animals and subduing them gives us a mandate to abuse them.
Yeah.
No.
So I think that's why there's an appropriate response of disappointment.
Yeah. And fair.
And
the parable. Sorry, I'm going on the parable of the lost sheep.
yeah.
It's a parable of a lost sheep.
Yeah.
Why did
Refer
God,
to a sheep.
right? And how? And so why would God use a parable that wouldn't evoke feeling?
Yeah.
We should care for that lost sheep,
Yeah.
and that's a symbol of how God cares for us.
Right.
No one could say a Christian should have concern for animals.
Right.
Yeah, they should.
So I guess just on that point that it doesn't license cruelty, but actually the way in which we regard our animals is a symbol of our righteousness, and actually, like you're saying, in one sense, our care for God's created order is reflective of His care for us also. Was there anything that you wanted to kind of chime in on it? No.
I was just scared.
Yeah.
So of course I get the comparison of racism is far worse, and I agree, but it felt that we were really downplaying his actions. Like, it's quite scary. When I was reading, of course they took I think he has 2 pets.
I think they're 2
They
cats.
took it away and stuff like that. Like for me, I just felt like, guys, what he did is really scary. So yeah, and I think West Ham, what their response wasn't. Yeah,
Even in instruction, God made sure there were 2 of each animal. You just need to come in.
No, but I feel you.
You see, even destruction, in a sense, the human beings got the short straw in that story.
You see, so this is
One family, every animal, every kind of animal.
You went from preaching to reaching very quick. You went from preaching to reaching very quick. But no, it's just because I guess what can be, and I think this has been demonstrative of the way in which people have been responding. Right, is the sense that we love our animals so much, we then go to that. They haven't been crowned with the same glory that humans have been, right? And I think that's what you have to counterbalance is to Chris Kirkland's point. they're not one and the same, or they're not even remotely close.
Someone said racism is just words. Animals can't defend themselves. I said, which words have you seen in racism, please?
No, but again, like an indignity to a human being is far more consequential because they're made in the image and likeness of God, right? So, animals, when the scriptures speak about animals being made, he looks at them and he sees that they're good human beings, very good. Yeah. There's that added emphasis on the way in which God
doesn't breathe into animals.
Yeah, they have exactly. Yeah. So they have life, but there's not that kind of connection with them in the same way that the scriptures kind of speak of us as being kind of bestowed with that glory and honor. He's made us a little lower than the heavenly beings in that sense. So there's an appropriate way to esteem human life and animal life, and that's not at all to suggest we should disregard animal life or just wink at animal cruelty. But at the same time, don't jump out the window.
Can we extend it to treatment of the planet, do you think?
So, as in, like, having concern for, like, climate
with the whole
change.
Sustainability.
Do we extend it to that? Do we extend it to how waste and overconsumption?
Recycling.
So here's the.
What's funny?
No. Sorry, it's the way.
You remember the carton he put in his waste bin? I mean, take that out when you go.
So
he wouldn't want
the plastic carton.
You ran out. You threw the bottle out the window.
So I think. Yes, the only reason why I'm kind of sometimes I'm hesitant on this one is, as with lots of things, there's just always a lot of misinformation.
Okay.
So, like, when you're kind of considering what is the damage that's actually being done to the planet, you'll hear differing extremes on, how fossil fuels are doing this and all that kind of stuff. Exactly, them kind of things there. So I'm always cautious, but I think as a general level, at a general level, we should be concerned for our environment as God's kind of vice stewards of the created order. But the only thing I would say there is, and again, creation is groaning for its renewal.
It's broken.
It's broken. Do you know what I mean? And we should do what we can, I guess, to respect it, to preserve it whilst we're still here. But I'm not gluing myself to the road because your car uses diesel.
Them man,
I'm not
Someone
doing.
said she needs to go and see her mom. They said,
I'm not doing that stuff, right?
Can a Christian do that though? Can they become extreme?
I don't, and this is what I'm saying. I don't think it's an appropriate estimation of this world.
Do you think it's sinful?
What, to glue yourself to them?
No. Because for me, it's like, in some level, is there a sense of the hope is in the world?
And this is what I was wanting to...
Is there a sense sometimes it comes above raising awareness? And now...
Well, I'm not even sure I'm following what you're asking.
So I'm all for raising awareness. I think
of like environmental issues.
Okay. But is there in a sense that with anything, right?
Yeah.
The extreme is that you're living actually for that very thing you're now raising awareness to.
Right, I see what you're saying.
And so that then becomes idolatry, doesn't it?
Right. Like your hope is in this world that this is all there is to life, and so therefore we have to preserve this earth. And we go right. I see what you're saying there. Yeah, that is something to guard against because ultimately, we think that the world will be renewed and there'll be an even greater heavens and earth, and the Lord will destroy this world and create something even more beautiful in the next life. So I guess to that point, whilst I see kind of the environmental damage that's taking place here, it's not, and again, I want to be careful because I don't want to kind of undermine the seriousness of some of those issues, but I don't think it's kind of compelling me to be kind of screaming at the rooftops about, not using these cars or putting this in that bin, all of that kind of stuff, because I'm looking forward to like a new. There's a new.
It's similar to our bodies. Isn't
it?
Like
exactly.
Our bodies are breaking down every day, but that doesn't mean we should just eat poorly, not exercise.
Exactly.
We should still take care of our bodies, but not in a way that we're ultimately saying that this is all we have.
Exactly.
When we know we're gonna get a new body. In glory, so
I think there's there's an appropriate way to kind of consider environmental issues, animal cruelty, that rightly kind of puts our place in the world, but also the world in its own greater context, because this won't be here in some point. So let's call it quits there, man.
Yeah, let's wrap up.
No, I loved it. Cool. So episode
82.
82.
Yeah, 82.
Going to be dropping the visuals again on this one.
Yep.
Let us know.
Subscribe, please.
Actually, I'd be interested to hear if you are based in a different city other than London, and even if you are in London. So say you're listening to us, because I know we got listeners in the US, we got listeners in Africa, West Africa, South Africa, wherever city you're in. We'd be interested to hear.
What's Paul's letter?
Yeah, what's Paul's letter saying to you? What's Paul saying to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know even to people in Lagos, it's not just, oh, you foolish Lagosians. It's not just that. I've written to you for like, let us know. And I guess this is even something that we can be prayerful about, right? For you is like, kind of what are the things that you guys are seeing as challenges in your cities? And yeah, just let us know. Let us know what might be said there, what might be helpful to think through and talk about. Cool. Episode 82.
We out.
Out.